Most video editors know how to edit, but very few know how to push Premiere beyond the basics to create truly beautiful videos. Today I'll show you 6 techniques I've been using professionally for years. Let's open up Premiere. Number 1. Creating a dream effect. You only have to create this effect once and can then be applied to all your videos. Look at this awesome animation made in Unreal Engine. This is not AI. First thing we'll do is click the new item button and create a new adjustment layer. Then drag it on top of your video. Make sure it covers your entire sequence. Alright, next, head over to the Lumetri color panel. In here, push a little bit magenta into your video. Makes it look a bit more dreamy. Then I also like to increase the highlights a bit, because that will help the next effect to work even better. Look at the before and after. We're already getting somewhere. Now let me go to the effect controls and fold all the effects I don't need. Okay, now in the effects browser, find the focus blur effect. This one is amazing. If you select the effect itself, this focus position will appear in the program monitor. You can drag it around to change the focus point. Now back in the effect, increase the blur amount until you get that tunnel vision. Before we change anything else, set the blending mode of the adjustment layer to screen or add. I always prefer screen. Then play around with the scale and go back and forth with the blur amount. Now since the screen blending mode increases the highlights a lot, you can always go back to Lumetri and decrease them a bit. You should always do that, by the way, going back and forth between the effects. Okay, now let's find the lens distortion effect and drag it underneath the focus blur. This one really adds a dreamy / drunk effect because of the blending mode. Your video will look a bit like it's offset, but it isn't. Now when you're done, play around with the opacity of the adjustment layer again and look at the result. This is amazing, and obviously you can reuse this adjustment layer. You just duplicate it and drag it on top of the other clips. That looks amazing. Effect number 2. Changing the color of your headlights. This is useful when you want to create a bit of a color contrast. To do this, first duplicate your video in the timeline and then find the tint effect. Then drag it on the duplicate. In the effect controls, click the map white to color selector. I want it to look a bit like xenon lights, so I'm gonna pick blue. Then click on OK. Next, go to opacity and set the blending mode to screen. That already looks great. Head over to the timeline and click and hold the object mask tool. Then select the ellipse mask tool. In the program monitor, draw a mask around your headlights. Then in the effect controls, increase the feather of the mask. Then go back to the program monitor and adjust the mask to make the light look natural. There you go. Let's deselect the mask and go to the Lumetri color panel. In here, we're gonna adjust the tint a bit. Go to the curves tab, then find RGB curves. In here, select blue. Now create a curve like this and play around with the center point. This way you can fine-tune your tint a little. Of course, you can also play around with the opacity of the top layer in the timeline. That gives you even more control. Look at the before and after. Looks a lot better, especially with the police lights reflecting on the front bumper. Now, here's a bonus trick. A lot of video editors don't understand that 50% of a good video is actually because of sound design. That's why you gotta select the best possible library. Back in the day, I lost so much money because of copyright problems. And that's why I started using Epidemic Sound. Since then, I never had any copyright issues again. You'll find amazing music and sound effects for every creator. On the first look, you can browse this library the traditional way, find a song you like, download it. But, you know, sometimes you need a different song in the same style. If you found a song you like, click this button. Then you'll get a new list of similar songs. Amazing, right? This button opens up the Adapt feature. Here you can literally change the song to fit your project. You can change the length, make it loop, or go to Adapt Music. Here you can use AI and literally tell it what it needs to change to the song. After submitting it, you can see the changes in here, or you can go back to the original track. Now, if you think that's cool, you're gonna love this. They actually released a new beta feature called Studio. You upload your video, describe it, and then click Create Soundtrack. Wait for a bit, and there you go. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you can click the clips and adjust the volume, add fades to them, or try alternative sounds that might fit your video even better. The timeline kinda works the same as in Premiere. You can mute and solo clips, and lastly, you can export your files as an XML and drag them straight in Premiere. It is that simple. With 55,000 premium tracks and 250,000 sound effects made by real artists, by the way, all the music is completely restriction free. So you're 100% safe from copyright claims and all of that stuff. Click Hit the link in the description down below and use the code Premiere at checkout to get 50% off Epidemic Sound for 2 months. You gotta be fast though, because this deal's gonna end by the end of August. Thank you so much Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. Now it's time for trick number 3, automatically editing your videos on the beat. Let's say you have all these beautiful car shots. Well, here I have a song and I want those clips to cut on every beat of the song. The best way to do this in Premiere is to simply press play on your keyboard and let the song play. Then on every kick and snare, add a marker to your timeline, just like this. And that was the most difficult part. Now, then in the project panel, select your clips in the order you want them to play in your sequence. Premiere now literally remembers in which order you picked these clips, and once you've selected the last one, right-click one of them and choose Automate to Sequence. In this window, you can change the ordering to selection order. You have the option for sort order, and that will simply use the same order your clips are sitting in your project. Since we've selected them ourselves, choose selection order. Then for the placement, choose unnumbered markers, and then click on OK. There you go. It doesn't even have to load anything. It instantly places your clips at the markers in the timeline, which means they're automatically on the beat of your song. Amazing. Trick number 4. This right here is a transform effect that I use to create zooms in my recording. Creating a zoom effect where you want to animate both the position and scale at the same time is not really a problem until you want to adjust velocity curves to ease the animation manually. Unfortunately, it isn't possible to select 2 keyframes from different properties and pull the lever of the keyframes at once. That means you gotta recreate the same curve on the position property and the scale property, which is not simple. So if you do this once, like this, right-click the transform effect, choose save as preset, and then call it zoom effect or something. Make sure anchor to in point is checked. That way the animation always starts at the first frame and it will play at the same speed that you created it. Then save your preset. Now every time you want to animate the scale and position, simply add a cut to the moment where you want the zoom to start. Then find your preset and drag it to that clip. And the zoom might not be perfect, but now all you have to do is go to the effect controls and align your playhead with the second keyframes. Now you can adjust those properties to how you want them, but the velocity curves will stay the same. I know, it's ridiculous. The fact that you have to do something like this in Premiere, it's saying a lot about Adobe. They do watch my videos where I complain about Premiere, so I already asked them to fix this. But yeah, this is something they haven't fixed yet, and I don't know if they ever will. Ridiculous. Number 5. Adding J-cuts, and I'm gonna show you a real-life example of mine. This right here is a small piece of the last video we created. First, we'll watch it without the J-cut. Another method using Photoshop. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you both. In Premiere, duplicate your clip by holding down. Now, since we're not seeing this part of the video anyway, let's remove it and bring the screen recording 1 track down. This right here is where we'll add the J-cut. To do that, go to the toolbar and click and hold the Ripple Edit tool. Then in this menu, select the Rolling Edit tool. Now go to the cut and click and drag it to the right. This cut now actually looks like a J. That's why it's called a J-cut, of course. Let me play it back for you. I'm gonna show you both. In Premiere, duplicate your clip by holding down. You notice that little pause, but you still hear me speaking. That's the effect you get when you're adding J-cuts. It's done in movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, just like I'm doing at this very moment. Trick number 6. Wiggle. This one is pretty new and can be used to create handheld camera effects and even earthquakes. The Eiffel Tower effect is a great example. I want the earth to shake every time a piece of the tower hits. So I adjust these settings in here, and as you can see, that works very well. I actually made a tutorial on how I created this entire effect, and you can watch that video right here on your left. Thank you guys so much for watching.